Hello, how are you guys doing? Okay, the dogs are going crazy today. Hello, little dogs. Hello, little dogs. They are like following me everywhere. So here's the new patio with the furniture on it. It actually looks really, really nice. I like the color. It's been raining today, so our patio furniture has rain on it. And I made my videos, and I have Snatched, the movie, on in the background. And Alex and I were gonna watch movies tonight, because I wanna watch Ready Player One, and I wanna watch Quiet Place, and he does too. So, we're probably gonna do that, but we're gonna go get something to eat first, because he's starving. So we're gonna go to Cheesecake Factory. You know, today's the first day of my diet. So I actually think about trying that. They have a Skinnylicious menu there. So this will be a test for me to go and like try something that's a little bit more health conscious. I'm gonna clean this counter off real quick while I'm talking to you. To try something that's a little bit more health conscious. Somebody recommended to me the other day to try out the vegan Cobb salad. So I may try that, or I may get something off their Skinnylicious menu. So we are going to go have a little dinner date and then come home and watch a movie. I was going to do a live stream, but I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. I think I'm just going to hang out with Alex because he is going out tomorrow night with some friends. So tonight will just be our night together. And then Sunday, our neighbor is having a party. So she's having like a birthday party during the day. So we're going to go back and forth. And I'm charging my camera. The battery light died on me. Hold on a second. Let me see if that's my husband. Okay, it's not. So let me show you, I wanted to show you a couple things. So my ASOS stuff came today. So here's the first bathing suit that I got. And this was like really cheap. It was like 10 or 14 bucks, 10 or 15 bucks, something like that. Do you see it? It's like this kind of material. It's cool. So these are for Vegas. Got that. And then I've always wanted to go to Ibiza for like their music festival week and all that kind of stuff. And so I got these shorts, which are, they say Cream Ibiza, which is a club in Ibiza. Aren't those cute? They're like pink and yellow. So I got those. Now, let's look at Peter's shoes that he got. Are you ready? They look kind of cheesy, but you have to imagine them with like a black t-shirt or like a black like button down that's kind of like a little slim fitting with a pair of jeans that come like right above it. But here are my loafers that I got. I think they're kind of cool, don't you think? So what do you think? So I got those. They are House of Hounds concept footwear. You can't see it, but it's kind of like this plaid inside. They're so comfortable. And one of the things that always scares me is to order shoes online because I'm afraid that they're not going to fit, and they fit like perfectly. And then they have these shoes were on sale too, and I got these because I wanted a really fun shoe to wear out, like when we go out. Because in the fall we go to like a lot of like art shows, art gallery openings, go out to dinner with friends, we go to like loungy bars downtown, stuff like that. So I wanted a pair of shoes for that, so I got these creepers. Look. They're like what's that color called? I can't remember what that color is called. They smell really good though. You see like the bottoms of them. So I'm excited about them. I tried them on and they look really good. I think they'll look better with jeans though. Like jeans that are like cuffed really big. Like not like baggy jeans, but like tighter jeans that are like cuffed really big. With like a wool sweater. Those will look really cool with that, don't you think? So yeah. And hopefully by then I'll be thinner so I can wear a lot of fun clothes. And I'm going to tell you right now, for all of you that pass judgment on me spending money on clothes, if I lose a bunch of weight, I'm buying some clothes. It's been a while since the biggest excitement is a 2XL t-shirt from Target. So if I lose some weight, I'm gonna go shopping. So anyway, I gotta turn off my candle waxes because we're gonna go to Cheesecake Factory. So I'm kind of just like cleaning up around here and getting stuff like settled. And I'm using my other camera. Oh look, my Michael Kors came today too. I'm using my other camera because the battery died. But you know what is interesting? People have been saying that my camera, is so blurry. But when I, come on guys. When I was filming my videos today, I couldn't film it on the other camera. Well, the main channel one I did, but my other two, the BookTube and the Peterisms one, I couldn't because the battery was dead. So I had to film it on this old camera. Well, what's interesting about that was that people have been saying it's really fuzzy. I really noticed it. And I actually think it's the lighting, you guys. Because like, look. This does not look fuzzy to me, but when I was filming earlier, what do you guys think, huh? What do you think? What do you think, Boo Radley? Tucker, what do you think? But when I was filming earlier, it looked like super fuzzy to me. So, I don't know, put my little flip-flops. Yeah. Okay. So, that's about my life right now. Ooh. I'm gonna start getting dressed and get ready, and then I'm gonna go meet Alex for dinner. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hello! Okay, it's 12:54, and I'm driving around. I got my Gatorade, which is not diet approved, but I've done okay today, so we won't talk about it. I'm struggling. I didn't eat horrible, but I didn't eat great today. I'll just say that. Okay. So, went to dinner with Alex. We had a really nice dinner, date night, and came home. And then he had to go to the grocery store on the way home because so the guys that did the patio, I don't know if I talked about this earlier, did our patio. Last year they were the ones that built it, and they took away all of our old patio furniture because it was really old and rusted and stuff. And I asked them if they could take it away. Well, they had to take it away to like some other dumpster, and so I was like, can we pay you? Like, let me pay you. And he's like, yeah, you can just get us a case of beer. And I was like, okay. Well, honestly, I would just rather pay him $20 and have him go get a case of beer, because I don't buy alcohol. Like, I'm real weird about that. Back in the day, and every once in a while, like if we're, out, like I'll, buy Alex a drink or something like that. But very, very rarely. I don't go into liquor stores and buy alcohol, or at the grocery store. So 2 days ago, I had asked Alex to buy the case of beer. Bud Light is what they wanted, and he forgot. So tonight he had to go do that, so we can have it out for them tomorrow. Or now it'll probably have to wait till Monday because I think they're gone for the weekend. But anyway, and then he bought dog food and came home and fed the dogs. So then I came home feeding the dogs, and we went upstairs and laid in the bed, and we were talking, and we were kind of dreaming out loud. He really wants to go. Tomorrow World is in Belgium right now, which is this huge music festival. And so we want to go do that 1 year. And then I want to go to Fiji. And he's like, can we make that 2 dreams in one? And I go, like, go to Belgium and then go to Fiji? He's like, yeah, why not? And I'm like, fly to Belgium, go to a music festival, get on a plane, and go to Fiji. Yeah, why not? Because I'm a billionaire, Oh my God, my life as a billionaire. My life as a millionaire, I wish. I think like that's, like if I had, like a couple $1 million, like those are the things I think would like change my life. Like I used to have this idea, actually, well, I'll tell you about that first. I used to have this idea that I wanted to start, but I think it's totally like illegal on YouTube, would be like, so we pick somebody that has like debt, right? Because I'm trying to pay off my debt, always. Do you guys know what manageable debt is? Manageable debt is like debt that you'll always have in your life. So I'm always constantly trying to pay off my like manageable debt. I really don't have any, but I'm talking about like my car payment and my mortgage. Okay. So then let's say if there are like, okay, there's 3,000 people that watch my video every day, right? So let's say if we pick somebody and they were like in $10,000 or $15,000 worth of debt. So then we would send, I don't know where we would send it, or start a GoFundMe or something, $5, okay, for 1 month. I think everybody could afford $5 a month. That's $1 a week, $1.25 a week, right? $5 for 1 month, you send it, and then that's 3,000 people, isn't that 15? So it'd be $15,000 to help that person out of debt. And then once that person got out of debt, we pick another person, and another person. And maybe it wouldn't always be 15,000, maybe it'd be 5,000, maybe it'd be 30, you know? And we could slowly help people get out of debt, you know, $1 at a time. And, I mean, to help 12 people in a year get completely out of debt, can you imagine? Like, that's a lot, 12 people in a year that have manageable debt of $15,000 or less. But you can't do that anyway. But if I was a millionaire, like a couple $1 million in the bank, and I didn't have to worry about anything, I first of all would buy a condo or a very, very small house in Miami or somewhere around Miami, like Coral Gables, so that we could go back and forth between Florida. Then I would completely pay off my mortgage, and then I would travel a lot. But I would have extended periods of time where I was home with my dogs, because I love my dogs so much. And, you know, other than that, I don't really know what I would do if I had, I mean, you know, I was talking about this on my Peterisms channel today. It's like, do you ever clip your nails really short? Like, you can't really see it. I didn't clip it too short. I mean, you can still see it on top, but it's like, it stings. But anyway, there kind of becomes a point, I don't know if this is everybody else or just me or what, but there comes a point to me, there came a point in my life where as long as I had my bills paid and I had just a little bit more to spend to do some things that were fun, to, you know, buy a couple pairs of shoes every once in a while or go on a trip, like, that to me is financial success. I don't have to have $1 million, you know what I mean? Would it be nice? Yes, for the security feeling of knowing that you didn't have a lot to worry about, I think. For that reason, I think it would be nice, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I wish I wonder if, like, some of these, you know, like, you know how, like, artists, I've always wondered this about YouTubers, like, you know how artists have, like, sponsors, you know what I mean, that, like, financially help support them, like, dancers, artists, things like that support them, their artistic endeavors, basically give them checks to pay their bills, which I think is fantastic. I wonder if there are YouTubers out there that are similar to that. Did I show you my bracelet today that I got? So my friend is Indian, and she gave me this bracelet, and I don't really understand it. Did I show you this? It's red. It's like a red string bracelet, and she tied it on me, and she said, it's for siblings or somebody that you feel like is brotherly or sisterly to you. And it's this end of summer holiday. I don't know anything about this, so I'm kind of talking out of my ass. She was explaining it to me. And you just tie it on that person, and then it's supposed to, like, bring them, like, good fortune and protection. And it just basically means, like, brotherly or sibling love. And then you leave it on until it falls off. And she said she felt that way about me, so she got me the bracelet. Alex is so funny. He's like, I love that bracelet. He's like, and it looks good with your watch too. I'm like, okay, that's not really the idea of the bracelet, but you're right. It does look good with the watch, but I didn't even think about that until you said something. I don't know. You know, I think we spend so much time in our society talking about money. It's like, when do you ever have, like, enough, though? You know what I mean? Like, when is enough enough? When are you no longer consumed by it? And, known people that are just ruined by money, just absolutely ruined by money, you know? And it makes me sad. Or ruined because of their need for more money. And then, like, I know a lot of people that don't really have a whole lot, you know? But they're happy in their little apartments or their, you know, little houses. And, I mean, our house is little, you know? With their little patios like ours. And it's just like, you just don't need a lot. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean that I don't, like, Alex and I were looking through, like, he was looking through Instagram tonight at these, like, really cool houses. I mean, don't get me wrong. Would I love to have, like, $1 million house, you know, or, you know, on the water in Miami? Sure. I'm not above all that superficiality. I mean, I like nice things, but I can't really afford nice things like that on a regular basis. So, you know. Well, I can't afford a house in the water in Miami ever, not even on a regular basis. But like traveling to nice places and stuff like that. So apparently this town that we're going to in Connecticut, we were talking about this at dinner tonight too. So we're going to Connecticut in like next weekend for a work convention for Alex. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do all day long. I've had so many people reach out to me and they're like, I can entertain you. All these girls are like, I'll take you shopping. I'll take you to the casino. I'm like, I don't even know where we're going. And then Alex tonight told me we're really close to the city of Essex. And we're like close to, like, we were reading all this stuff on this thing. And we are like by where Mystic Pizza is, I guess, kind of. Or the Mystic Pizza place is or something. And Alex is like, why don't we just, like, as soon as we fly in, take the train into New York and then just spend the whole day in New York City? I was like, no, like, that's not, what are you talking, no, that's not enjoyable. I go, how long is the train ride? And he goes, like, 2 hours. I said, so you want to fly to Connecticut? He goes, well, we get there at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I said, okay, so we have to be on the plane at 6 something. You want to be on the plane at 6, get in to Connecticut at 10, get on a bus by like 11 or 12, be 2 hours to New York, spend 2 or 3 hours in New York to take the bus back. No, like, what? Like, that's crazy. Oh, live a little. I go, that's not called live a little. That's called, I'm 46. You can't drag my ass all over the East Coast. I mean, I just can't. You know what I mean? I'm not 20 anymore. So I don't know what we're going to do. I'm going to read a lot. It's Booktubeathon. And, while we're there, so I'm planning on reading. And, I'm really excited about that. I don't know what else I'm going to do. Take my computer and write. My new computer. Hopefully I'll have it set up by then. I still don't have it set up. And I'll write. Of course I'll make videos and vlog. The town looks really cute, so I'm really excited about it. And then we get back and it's like 3 weeks before we go to Vegas. The camera's shut off. But then it's 3 weeks until we, I don't know, shut off right. Oh, and there the yellow light is on right away. What is going on? Because I turn it off and turn it back on. And then in 3 weeks we go to Vegas. I'm really excited about that. 4 weeks. In 4 weeks we go to Vegas. Well, 4 weeks now. 4.5 weeks now. I'm kind of tired tonight. This may be a shorter vlog than I usually put up, like a much shorter one. I'm gonna listen to my audiobook once this, like, when it goes completely out. I'll listen to my audiobook for a while. But I don't know how late I'm gonna be able to stay up tonight. I'm tired. It was cloudy and rainy all day today. It got really, really windy at one point. Oh, I know what else I'm going to be doing. Wentworth comes out next weekend, so I'm going to be watching Wentworth. I'm really excited about that. Do you guys, what are your favorite Netflix shows? Put what your favorite Netflix shows are in the comment section below. And I've got to watch Westworld for Penny and everybody else that keeps on asking me. So many people have asked me about, do I watch Westworld? Do I watch Westworld? And I haven't started watching it, but I want to, so I got to start that. Maybe I'll do like a Westworld marathon when I'm in Connecticut. Maybe that's what I'll do while I'm there. I literally have nothing to do. Alex is going to be in a convention. We get to fly Saturday. It's Sunday and Monday, and then we come back Tuesday, I think. So, I mean, I'm literally just going to be like in the hotel room the whole time, or walking around. It'll go quick though, don't you think? A couple years ago, we went to go, so Tomorrow World is right now, but we went to is it Tomorrowland? Tomorrow World. Tomorrowland. I don't remember. Tomorrowland was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we went, well, I didn't go, but Alex took his brother, and we went, and we stayed in this gorgeous hotel. Was it in Atlanta? No, it's in Atlanta. That was in Atlanta. I can't remember. It was outside of Atlanta, I think. Why am I losing? I don't remember, but anyway, I feel like we stayed in Atlanta. We went 2 years. Yeah, it was Atlanta. I didn't go either year. I just went to the hotel room. The first year we stayed in this shitty hotel. The second year we stayed in this fantastic hotel, and it was like 30 stories high. Like it was a high hotel. It was really fun, and I walked around, but I sat in the hotel room because it like rained so bad that weekend. They like got rained out of the festival, and I like buses that were taking people out there were like getting stuck in the mud and stuff. It was really bad. So I stayed in the hotel room the whole weekend, and I just binge watched all of these shows. Like, I can't remember, there was this one show that was like these, I don't think it's on Netflix anymore. I can't remember what it was called, but it was about these like a cappella groups in college, and it was a reality show, like a documentary or reality show, and it had like 8 or 9 episodes, and they were all competing with each other to like see who was like the best Glee club. You know what I'm talking about? Like the show Glee, but it was kind of like that. It was very interesting. I think it was called, no, that's the movie, Pitch Perfect. It was something Pitch, maybe. I can't remember. But that was good. I watched that like the whole weekend. I like watch an episode, and I like, go get a fountain pop or a can of pop downstairs, and I like watch another episode, and then go across the street, and watch an episode, go downstairs, smoke a cigarette, because there was nothing else to do. I was a little bored in the hotel room. It was fun. I love hotel rooms. I don't mind just sitting in hotel rooms all the time. I wouldn't want to just sit in hotel rooms all the time, but I could travel and like live out of a suitcase. I could be that person. I love it. Like I really do. But like when you go places and people are like, well, you're not going to really spend that much time in the hotel anyway. Why do you care? I like spend that much time in a hotel room. Like I'm that person that like loves a hotel room, and I love to turn on the movie or the TV and see what kind of channels they have. That's one of my favorite things to do. I just love hotels. I love to see the view, so it's important to have a good view. It just stopped. Alright, I'm back. My audiobook is like really good right now. And so I don't know how long this is gonna go. I waited for my camera to kind of die down a little bit. Well, die down. it died down. I waited for my camera to for the the internal temperature or whatever. Which is funny because it hasn't really been doing that a lot lately. And I love my new Canon. To be honest with you, here's the thing, okay? So this camera, the Sony, is on this sticky thing that, literally, like if you stick your finger to it, it's like, it just is so sticky. So I don't want to get my Canon the same way. So I'm probably gonna continue to use this camera for the vlog as long as it'll let me do it and the internal temperature thing. isn't too bad. It hasn't been doing it so much lately, and I think it's because I've kind of been doing like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there throughout the day. Some people said they really like me kind of spacing it out throughout the day. Other people said that they miss the night vlogs, so I want to do night vlogs as well. I want to kind of mix it up, you know, depending on the day. Like, I don't really have a whole lot going on tomorrow, so I don't know, but like it's not any different for me to do it during the day and talk into a camera while I'm just driving around, you know what I mean? The thing is, I'll be honest, that I kind of like having it done early in the evening, because then I can sit on the front porch and read, or I can listen to my audiobook, or hang out with Alex, or something like that. So, you know, I don't always, I like to mix it up, because that way then I have kind of a mix to it. I don't always like to mix it up because that way I have a mix to it. I like to mix it up because that way I have a couple, you know, evenings, late evenings, where I can read or watch, you know, TV or a movie or something, and do something that, like, I can just kind of relax, if that makes sense. For a while, I was vlogging like every night at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I still do sometimes, you know, but it kind of was taking a toll on me a little bit, I think, you know, without me even realizing it. So, only to the effect that I would get home late. But see, I'm up late anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But in the last 2 weeks, when I've like uploaded, a couple times when I've uploaded early, I've gone to the casino, met my friend Valerie, and then a couple times I've read, and, you know, some nights I just hung out in bed with Alex and talked and just rambled about BS. I'm on the interstate going 50. It's really muggy tonight, and I love it. I don't know why I love that, but it's really, I love that muggy, just temperature, you know? Our neighborhood is kind of strange for the summer. It's like, you know, it's all older people, except for our neighbor who's like 25, 24, and it's like all older people, and which is fine. I like it. It's quiet, you know. But if you go right outside of our condo neighborhood, there's lots of like houses. And what's really cool about our neighborhood, like where we live, like I'd say, let's say within a 2-mile radius, is that there's these houses. And my cousin grew up right over there. My aunt and uncle used to live like one street over from where we live. So I kind of grew up in the same neighborhood that I live now, because my aunt and uncle lived there. And what's nice about it is you see these houses that are, every house is completely different. They're not the same. You know, they were built like in the 70s, I think, 60s, like, yeah, 70s probably. And, you know, there's Cape Cods, and there's, you know, there's colonials, there's everything every house is completely different. And they all have these like massive yards, and they're just very well kept, and huge mature trees. And it just, the neighborhood looks, it's beautiful. And the thing about it is, it kind of rotates out every like 10 years. And so people move in when their kids are like, let's say 5 or 6, and then they move out like after they've left for high school, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So the neighborhood always stays kind of, I'd say 30 to 50-year-olds, like my age, you know? And people that have kids and are raising kids and stuff like that. And it's nice. But in our neighborhood, you don't see like families. You just don't see a lot of family stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see a lot of barbecues and stuff like that in our neighborhood. You just don't see it. There's a lot of quietness. Like, a lot of quietness. Oh my God, it was so weird. I was at the pool the other night, And, you know, our neighborhood is literally so quiet at night that if you're in the pool, you can hear, like, the people around you. You can hear, like, their TVs inside their house. And, like, one street over, I heard this woman, like, screaming at the top of her lungs, like, ah! I was like, and you know where my mind goes with that. I'm like, oh my God, a serial killer in the neighborhood. And I'm going to witness him running away or something, you know? I need to read another true crime novel. I really had fun. I think like I did this book tag today that I'm putting up tomorrow, so it'll be up on Saturday when you guys are watching this. If you're watching this on Saturday, and it's called the Mid-Year Book Freakout Tag, and Mid-Year Freakout Book Tag, Mid-Year Book Freakout Tag. Yeah, and I've done it like every year, and it's like we're like halfway through the year. You talk about like all the books you've read, like what's the best book you've read, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I kept on thinking a lot about I'll Be Gone in the Dark, about the Golden State Killer. It's weird that, like, out of all of the books that I've read this year, that's one of the books that stuck with me the most. That's really, I don't know, crept into my mind. It's just very disturbing to me that, you know, the serial killer was out there living for 30 years or whatever, you know, 80 to 90 to... I don't know my glasses on, I can't do that. Okay, so when was the last killing? 87, 86, I think, 89, so like, so 20 years? 20-some years, and they never caught him. 30 years. I told you I'm not good at math. I have to carry the numbers over and everything on paper. True story, I really do. I always, okay, if we have good service, like really good service, like Alex and I are really good tippers, and I mean, I'm not like, I just feel like that's how waiters and waitresses make their money, you know? So now if we get somebody that's really rude, I always just straight across the board tip 20%. But if somebody's really good, I usually tip like 22 to 24%. Like if they're really, really good. I mean, not on like $100 bill or 100, you know what I mean? But I don't know, maybe I have. It just depends. But usually we don't ever go places that it's that expensive. Usually we go, like, you know, brunch on Sunday at Patachou's usually like, I mean, it's expensive brunch. It's like $40 for two of us, like less than that. 36, 37 for two people, $40. This is our meals on Sunday. Are you ready? Alex gets turkey chili, a bowl of it, with tons of croutons, and then he gets Cuban breakfast, which is like rice and avocado and all egg and all this kind of stuff. He puts that sriracha sauce on it, and then I get the omelet you can't refuse is what it's called, but it has bacon in it. So I have the bacon replaced with red onion, and I used to get brie in it, but they got rid of brie now at the place. So last week I got Gouda. It was actually better. But with the American cheese in it too. And it has potatoes inside of it and all kinds of stuff. And then I am a fiend for onions. I love onions and stuff. And then I get potatoes, and I get an everything bagel toasted with cream cheese on it. And I usually eat the whole omelet, but only like half the bagel and half the potatoes, so I take those home for later. And then if Alex is, like, we go back and forth with meals. So like I'll buy a meal, then he buys a meal. I buy a meal, then he buys a meal. That's how we've always done meals. And unless we're taking the other person out like on a date that we planned, then yeah. So, it's always weird, like, what I say in the vlog that people will have, like, issues with. Like, I know that's, like, something that people will be like, that's weird that you do it like that. just something that we decided early on. You know, one of the decisions that Alex and I made early on, well, anyway, unless it's his week, and then sometimes he gets a mimosa, but not very often. But I don't buy alcohol, so. But if he wants a mimosa, sometimes he'll say, I'll get the bill for the mimosa and just have them take it off and put it on there, or a glass of wine when we go somewhere. It was funny because we went out to dinner for my birthday, and it was Alex and I, Tanya and her husband, and Tanya's husband drinks, and my sponsor. So Tanya, my sponsor, and I, we all, okay, so I have 23 and a half years, Tanya has 22 and a half years, and my sponsor has 22 and a half years. So we're all at about 22 to 24 years of sobriety, right? So it's not like somebody having a drink at dinner is going to be like, oh my God, I can't handle it, I have to drink. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. But I will say this. In early sobriety, I don't recommend alcoholics and addicts going around it. I don't, you know? And there's things that I don't like. You know, I ask friends of mine, most of my friends know this already. I don't really have friends of mine that smoke pot. I just don't. Like, I know people that do. I have a couple people in my life that do. I have a family member that does. But, like, they're very kind of like, with a certain group of people they do it, like on a weekend away or something. It's not like a regular thing. But they all know not to, like, that. I just don't want it around me. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't hang with me for an hour without smoking pot, you need to take a look at your pot smoking. That's how I feel about it. True story. But anyway, what is going on? I was like, what is this car behind me? It had this big yellow light on front of it, and it is a taxi. Are there taxis anymore? I thought everybody just Ubered and Lyfted it now. But, so we're at dinner, right? We went to Harry and Izzy's, which is like a steakhouse. And, we sat down, and Tanya and her husband were there before. And so they were there first. And we came and, like, so then Alex and I got in, and then my sponsor, she came after. And so she got in between, like, Alex and Eric, Tanya's husband. And we were sitting there, and when the waitress came, and Alex is trying to be so considerate, right, and so good. I mean, he loves to have a glass of wine when he goes out to dinner, and I don't care, you know? And so the waitress comes, and she's like, any other time, okay, it wouldn't matter who we were with. Like, Melissa does not drink. But whenever we go out to dinner with, like, Melissa and her husband, Jason, Melissa's husband always orders, what's the beer? Angry Orchard. And then, like, Alex will get a beer with him. But we were sitting there, and the waitress was like, what can I get you guys to drink? And Tanya's like, I'll have another Diet Coke, because they had already ordered drinks. And Eric was like, I'm good for right now. And my sponsor was like, she drinks so much coffee. I've never seen anybody drink coffee like her. She's like, do you guys have cappuccino? She's like, I think I'd like to have a cappuccino. So she has a big black hat on. I love her. She's so fantastic. She's in the middle of the restaurant, this big black hat, you know, just looking like Audrey Hepburn somewhere. Anyway, so she's like, I think I'd like to have a cappuccino. And so it came to Alex, and he goes, I'll have a Coke. And I go, Tanya laughed, and I go, babe, you can have a glass of wine if you want a glass of wine. And he was like, no, it's okay. And Tanya goes, it's not like Eric's not drinking. And Alex looked at me and goes, you're drinking iced tea. And he was drinking, like, I can't remember what he was drinking, but it was like it's like a Scotch and water, a Long Island or something. I don't even know. I don't even remember. But, and Alex was like, he was like, I'll have them all back. He's like, if Eric is drinking, I'll drink. And my sponsor goes, she's like, Alex, she goes, I know this is the first time that I met you. She goes, I've been around a lot of drinkers in 22 years. I can handle it. Honey, you have a glass of wine. She was so awesome. She was like, it's Friday night. We're all going to have fun. I'm going to have my cappuccino. Peter's going to have his Diet Coke. Tanya's going to have her Diet Coke. And y'all are going to have whatever you want because you're not driving. So anyway, we had such a great time. It was so much fun for my birthday. I feel so blessed to have just, like, amazing people in my life, you know? there have been periods in my life where I have felt so completely alone. You know, I have some really, really great YouTube friends right now too, and if you go back and you watch my vlogs, that's not something that I could always say, you know, that I have people that I talk to regularly on YouTube that were close friends of mine. I mean, like, honestly, Rich Lux, Dustin Daly, and Sam from Here for the Tea, I talk to all three of them literally every day, and we don't talk about drama. We talk about shit that's going on in our lives and family stuff, and, you know, and each of those people, I don't know, and it's like I've had problems with each of the people in the past, and it's like we're just like regular people now that kind of do similar things but different, if that makes sense. And it's just nice, you know, to know some people that kind of get what you do a little bit, and or what you're interested in, I guess. It's kind of like BookTube for me a little bit. It's like, you know, when I finally met people that love to read, it's awesome, and it's nice. And then, you know, I have so many people, well, not so many, but I have, you know, close people in my personal life that really mean a lot to me. And I feel like right now, like, I just feel really good in my life right now, you know? And I'm not at the top of the mountain. I you know, I have an amazing life. I do. Are there things that I still want to achieve? Absolutely. Am I at the highest point I've ever been? No. But I feel very content with where I'm at. And I think sometimes that it's more important, like when we talk about gratitude, sometimes gratitude comes in the form of being content. You know what I mean? Like, I forget that sometimes. Like, maybe it's enough for me just to be content with my life. Like, I don't always have to be at the top of my game. I don't always have to be at the top of the mountain. I don't always have to be doing this. And, you know, there was like, after my book came out, I wanted to put out 3 books a year. And I got to this point where I just was so stuck with writing. Like, I couldn't get out of it. You know, I just couldn't get out of this wedge that I was stuck in, you know? Oh, that makes me so hungry for a wedge salad. I don't know why. But anyway, I was just stuck. I just couldn't get out of it, you know? But I had this idea that I was just going to pump these books out because I didn't have a problem writing my book in 4.5 weeks, that I knew that I could do it again, you know? And then spend 2 months editing it, and that would be, you know, if I took a year off and then did it that way, I could have 3 books out. Well, I didn't do that, you know? And I'm hard on myself about that stuff sometimes. I'm like, okay, if that were the case, if you had done that, if you had even put out 2 books a year, because there's a lot of authors that put out 3 books a year. You know, there's a lot of young adult authors, there's a lot of professional, you know, not professional, there's a lot of adult authors, thrillers, you know, things like that put out a lot of books. And I'm not talking about like the James Patterson who has a team of people working for him. I'm talking about people that are sitting there writing their own books, you know, that are putting out, I mean, there are some self-published indie authors that if you get on their like Goodreads account, they're literally putting out a book a month. I mean, literally, they're like writing it, uploading it to ebooks, writing it, uploading it to ebooks on Amazon. And there's a lot of people like that. So I could have done it. And, you know, like if I had written 2 books a year, that, you know, just take 2014 out of the equation, because that was the year that I had the book published and put out, then that would have been, you know, 2015, 2016, 2017, that would have been, you know, what, 6 books I would have had written so far. I have like 30, 40 ideas for books. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, do you come up with ideas all the time, then you outline them? All the time. I have an entire notebook. I think I actually showed it in a vlog one time in my office. I have an entire notebook of all ideas for books. Like, you guys, I have entire ideas for books, okay? I mean, I can't even tell you. I mean, this is why I have a hard time sticking to one idea, because I have so many ideas. And there's always like 5 or 6 that I think are the idea that I want to work on at the moment. And I just get completely, you know, I'm like, I got to really feel it, you know? You know, I would say like the current ones that I worked on in the last 2 or 3 years was, well, I have a young adult book that I've kind of been working on off and on. And then I've been working on this book about this woman in my memoir. And then I've been working on the one about the two sisters whose mother is a heroin addict that overdoses. That was like 2 years ago. I haven't worked on that for a long time. I have a book about 3 kids that escaped from a treatment program and are on the run, and the whole thing is done to The Wizard of Oz, the backdrop to The Wizard of Oz. I have like 100 pages written of that, 150 maybe. What else that I've worked on? I actually, years and years ago, I started a memoir about my treatment experiences, and I just stopped. And I have so much of it written, and I don't have it on any kind of USB or anything, but I don't want to rewrite it into a computer, like type it and put it in, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I know somebody's going to volunteer out there and be like, I'll do it, I'll type it into a USB. I might take you up on that, honestly. I was writing a book called Death Row Prom Queen. This was kind of a tongue-in-cheek idea that I had about this girl. She was, it's her story about how she ended up on death row. But she had been a prom queen, and it all started with prom. And it was kind of dark humor. And it was out of like what I typically write. Yeah, I constantly have ideas for books. Constantly. I had this book that I was going to write years and years and years ago. Like, this is like 15 years ago. I was thinking about writing this book called Max Bet. M-A-X-B-E-T-T-E. Or it would be like Max, I didn't know how I was going to spell it. But it was going to be about these 2 women, and they were like in their late 60s, and their names were Maxine and Betty. And they were like best friends, and like one was a widow, and the other one was like her husband, had gone through a divorce. And they really were like very, very lonely. And so they never had anything to do, and like they got into a fight with like their knitting group, and so they ended up going to this casino one night because their friend, like they were supposed to go to this like knitting group get together, and all the women were mad at them, and so they kicked them out of the group. And so they were like, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna like challenge ourselves. So they decided that they were gonna go to this casino, right? Well, they go, and Maxine wins this. Okay, Betty rubs a machine, and as soon as Betty rubs a machine, Maxine wins a progressive. So they end up going to, this is so funny because this is almost like Mr. Jackpots from Twin Peaks, if you know what I'm talking about, which I loved Mr. Jackpots. I love when that woman's like, thank you, Mr. Jackpots. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole show. But anyway, so then they end up like taking the red eye to Las Vegas, and Maxine wins like 2 more progressives. And then she gets involved in like this blackjack tournament, and she meets these like sharks, and people are like trying to like chasing them because they like think that they're like, they have some system and all this kind of stuff. And it's just these 2 women that have all this luck, and it was gonna be called Max Bet, and it was gonna be very like cutesy. Tanya and I at one point too were going to write a book. She and I were going to come up with the ideas, and I was going to write it, and it was going to be based on a detective agency, and it was going to be about a woman, it was going to be us. It was going to be like me, this gay guy who's married and whose husband works early, and a woman who's married and her husband goes to bed early because he's got to work early, and they drive around and they're up late at night, and they're always like chasing crime because we used to listen to the police radio, and then like it would say like, we got a 442 on 156th Street, and then Tony and I would go to 156th Street to see what the crime was there. Anyway, usually we got there and there was nothing there. Tanya used to board the canine dogs, the canine cops, so she knows every police officer in our area. And so whenever there's like something going on, Tanya always makes me pull over. I'm like, don't make me do this. She makes me pull over, and she'll say, hey, Roger, how are you doing? And then like some police officer, and then she'll be like, I just want to see if you guys needed anything. Do you need me to get the dogs? They're like, no. I'm like, oh my God, Tanya. So anyway, I don't know. I don't think she boards all of them anymore. She used to. There's like, I think 1 maybe that she still boards or something. But anyway, isn't that kind of cool though that she did that? Because not that she made me stop, but boards to Canine Cops. So anyway, so we were gonna write this series of books that was gonna be like Moonlighting. Do you remember that show back in the day with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis? Oh my God, I love that Moonlighting show so much. I can hear the theme song in my head. I actually have a VCR tape of the pilot episode. It is so funny. If you've never seen Moonlighting, put in YouTube Moonlighting pilot episode. See if you can watch it. It's so good. Anyway, it's about Sybil Shepherd, and she's real rich, and she used to be a model, and then she owns a beauty agent, like a beauty company, and her accountant ends up embezzling all of her money. So she owns all these businesses, and she doesn't know what they are, and one of them is called the Moonlighting Detective Agency, and so she goes in there to close it down, and she fires Bruce Willis, who's like the main detective, and he's totally hilarious, right? Totally hilarious. I think that might have been Bruce Willis's finest work ever. And so she goes in there to fire him and close the business down because she needs some money and she just wants to get rid of it. And he doesn't want to leave. And so she basically ends up working with him, trying to solve the case of I think it's the case of who embezzled her money or something. I can't remember. Oh no, it's some other case they're like solving or something. And she's like, I'm here, I'm going to work with you. And then they work together. It's so good, you guys. It's like one of the best shows ever. So Tanya and I were going to we were basically going to steal the idea of Moonlighting, but it was going to be me, a gay guy, and Tanya, like this housewife, that like were Moonlighting detective agents. I would just stopped at like 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, I didn't let my camera sit too long. I'm tired and I want to go home and go to sleep. So I'm going to finish this and, yeah, but I have lots of book ideas. I should just pull out my notebook that has all my ideas and I should read through them. I think I may have done that one time, like I said, when I was in my office, but I don't remember. So if that's something you guys would be interested in hearing, put it in the comment section below. But the Moonlighting book will never happen because why does it need to happen when Tanya and I really truly are the Moonlighting Detective Agency? Oh, I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.